Hi guys, it's SimLicy here, so welcome to another part of my Renovating EA series. It has been months and months and months since I have done anything for this series, but I thought since we got a whole new world, a new pack, and all of that kind of stuff, I would go ahead and attempt to renovate one of the new homes that came in this pack, and I decided to go for this one. I'm not sure exactly what the lot name is, but you can see it in the top left-hand side of the screen, so yeah, it's that house. I will have before and after screenshots in case you guys aren't familiar with this series. I've gone through and renovated a lot of EA builds, and I try to keep the builds looking more or less like the original one. Sometimes it's a bit more extreme, but you know, I try to make it more like a renovation rather than like a demolition and a complete rebuild. But anyways, I do change up a few things about this house. You will notice that one of the major changes I made was the third floor. So I noticed that some of the houses in the neighborhood had a third story, and it kind of like poked through like a dormer window or something, and I thought that was a really nice kind of feature on some of the other homes. And I figured since we have ladders now, I could make like an attic space, and I could actually use the stairs to get there rather than, or a ladder, excuse me, a ladder to get there rather than a staircase, because stairs take up so much space in the game and ladders take up 1 square. So yeah, I thought it was perfect, and it's really cute. I made like a little play area for the kid, and then I made like an artist space for one of the parents so they could possibly be an artist or just like a hobbyist or something. So yeah. Anyways, here you can see I'm working on the floor plan. I really wanted to turn this into a 2-bedroom house because, I don't know, I just felt like it was too big of a home to be just a 1-bedroom. I think they did it that way originally because it's, I think, supposed to be a starter house. It's definitely not a starter house once I'm finished with it because I definitely clutter it up a lot. I tried to use a lot of like debug objects and things, not necessarily because they're cheaper, but because I like them, but they are cheaper. So, you know, if you're trying to stick to a budget, it's definitely helpful. But yeah, I definitely wasn't trying to stick to a budget. I more just wanted it to feel homey, and a lot of the debug objects make it feel really cozy and like lived in and a little bit messy because this neighborhood isn't that put together. Like, as you can see, there's like trash in the flower beds next door, and there's like overgrown grass and like dead grass, and it's not that nice, and I love it. Like, I'm really excited about the grossness of the world. Like, some of my favorite objects have to do with like the debug trash objects. I'm very excited to do like a trashed house or something, like a complete fixer-up or like a total dump, and then maybe if you guys want to, you could go through and renovate it. I think that could be kind of fun, so let me know if you're interested in that. And then maybe some more rundown community lots if I get the inspiration. I get a lot of requests to do community lots, and a lot of you guys really like my community lots, and I like them too. They just take me a lot of planning and effort. They're not as easy as homes anyways. But here I'm finally looking at some of the live edit objects that came with this pack. This was my first time looking at them, and I found like kitchen clutter that I was really hoping, because I saw some of it in like the trash piles around town, but I wasn't really sure if it was going to be available, and it totally is. So I clutter up, I used some of it to clutter up the kitchen, and it doesn't seem to spoil. Like, I couldn't interact with it at all. Like, my Sims weren't trying to clean it up. If I clicked on it, nothing happened. So to me, that's like a huge plus. Like, I don't want my Sims to clean up pretty much anything. Like, unless it gets gross and stinky and, you know, makes your Sims unhappy, then of course I want them to clean it up. But if it's not gonna do anything, then leave it alone. I want the clutter and the trash as decorations. And then here I'm using this live edit objects fence. I used this one because it matches some of the neighbors' fences, and so I thought it looked kind of nice. It's a base game fence. If it bothers you, you could of course just use a regular fence from the Build and Buy catalog, but yeah, I like the way this one looks anyway, so I went with it. Your Sims might walk through it because some of the objects in the live edit objects, they don't really recognize as objects, I guess. I feel like I'm saying objects a lot, but they don't really recognize them. They don't have like a footprint or anything. They don't take up any space. So if that does happen, you can just switch it out. But I think it looks good, and I didn't seem to have any issues, but I didn't really play in this build very long. I just kind of play tested the kitchen because it's a bit cramped and a few other things just to make sure they worked. But yeah, everything seemed to work, and I think this build actually turned out really cute, and it feels really homey, and it's not overly fancy or anything. I tried to keep it more on a more realistic side. I think it's still kind of pretty in my opinion because I like the way it looks, but also that's just kind of the nature of The Sims sometimes. Some of the furniture doesn't look as messy as you would want it to, but it feels like a home that they're trying to fix up. Like, it used to be maybe a little bit more run down, which is kind of appropriate since I am renovating this build. But as I was building it, I was getting the feeling that they're in the process of kind of fixing this place up. So they've maybe repainted the exterior because I changed the paint color and it felt a little bit like fresher and cleaner. And then also I changed the wood floor and the wallpaper on the interior, so it's a bit brighter, and I think, it looks like they've repainted. There's like bright white walls. Maybe they've resanded like the floors, or not resanded, they've just sanded the floors and maybe restained them or something. And I like that idea. So maybe not all of their furniture is that nice. Maybe it's been like hand-me-downs or repurposed or like recycled furniture. But they're in the process of like redecorating and making this place really nice. And so I don't know, I really like that idea, so hopefully you guys like it too. But here you can see I am moving on to the interior. I love this furniture. This couch and chair set is so cute. I really like the way it looks, and the plant in the corner. This pack actually came with like a ton of plants, which is a huge bonus in my opinion. Like, just having a lot of plants like brings a pack like grade up like almost like at least 2 levels. I think it like puts it ahead of packs that don't come with like any plants, even if it comes with other really good things. Like, I just really like to have plants. It makes nice clutter, and that drink tray on the coffee table is one of the cutest things I've ever seen in my entire life, and I'll probably use it in every single build from now on unless it's like a base game only build or something. But I was trying to stick to some of the more like cozier handmade looking furniture. I really wanted to use some of those really nice industrial shelves that we got with this pack, but I didn't think they quite suited this build. I tried to use them like a few different times. I'll definitely use them in other builds, but thankfully we did get like this shelf that is so cute. It definitely looks like it belongs in like a mud room or like a shed or something, because it has like pots and like gardening supplies, but I thought it actually worked really nicely in here, and it was so cute. Again, the same as my apartment that I just finished using this pack, I was really struggling with artwork in this build. I mean, I'm not restricting myself with packs, so I, did have the whole catalog available to decorate with, but I still felt very limited when it came to artwork. And so I really wish that this pack would have came with some artwork. I feel like that's like the biggest downfall for me, at least so far. I mean, maybe I'll find other issues later, but I don't know. I mean, it did come with some wall art, like in the wall hanging like decor, but like as far as paintings go, we didn't get any, and so that makes me sad. But here you can see I'm moving on to the kitchen. I really love this kitchen. I use the Parenthood counters and cabinets, and I think they just suit this build perfectly. I really liked the black countertop with the orange wood tones. I just thought it was like really nice, so it's definitely excited to use that. And then here I'm using my new favorite chair and table. I love these so much. Like, I think it's really cute, and it looks just old and retro, and I think they're just absolutely perfect. So I don't know, I'm really excited about them. I'm not sure if anybody else is excited about these chairs as I am. I mean, I like the table too, but the chairs are super cool, and the TV that I used in the living room is probably my favorite object that came with this pack. I love it so much. But here you can see I'm going into the debug and live edit objects, pulling out some clutter. There's just like milk cartons and like a juice carton. It's obviously things that you probably wouldn't leave on your counter. You would put in your refrigerator, but I don't really care. I think it just makes really nice clutter. And like I said, it didn't seem to spoil, so that makes me really happy, and that means that I can use them in a lot of kitchens and just like make them feel really cluttered and lived in, which I just absolutely love to build that way, as you guys probably know by now. But there I did clutter up the kitchen table. I did notice an issue while having my Sims eat. When I had them actually just grab a plate for themselves after cooking like a full meal, they would go and sit somewhere else. They wouldn't automatically go sit at the kitchen table. And I think that's probably because I put too much clutter there, but I did notice once I stopped them from eating and dragged their food to the table and then told them to sit down and eat, then they would sit there and eat and they didn't have any issues. So if it bothers you, you could definitely remove some of those objects, but for me, it's kind of worth it to have the decorations. So yeah, it's totally up to you guys, but I thought I would mention it because it was something I noticed. But here I'm decorating the downstairs bathroom. This bathroom you won't see in the screenshots because there was no before bathroom, but I definitely wanted to make sure there was a downstairs bathroom. And since I had the space, I decided to put in a washer and dryer just to, yeah, make that an option in case you guys are interested in that gameplay. Here I'm switching up the flooring and the wallpaper in the attic space because I was thinking, you know, since I was talking about the idea that they've been fixing up this house over time, maybe they just haven't got to the attic space yet, so it still has the old wallpaper, still has the old floors, and so I liked that idea. But here on the landing above the staircase, I do have it's kind of like a study area with a computer desk. It's just a nice little computer nook, I guess you could call it, but yeah, it's pretty simple. I didn't clutter it up too much, I don't think. And then here I'm using the other shelf that came with this pack, this other more rustic and cozy looking one. Like, this stuff goes so good with laundry day, by the way. It like matches that pack perfectly and it's one of my favorites. But I thought that was like nice storage to keep extra like towels and blankets for the bedrooms and the bathroom. This is the other bathroom in the build. So this one has a shower and tub combo. It's a very basic bathroom. There's like nothing interesting to say about that bathroom because I think it looks like most of my bathrooms, but it gets the job done and, you know, it's a bathroom. But here I'm moving on to the kids' room. I totally forgot about the toddler bed again, but I had the plan in my mind that it was going to be a kid, like the entire build, so I decided to stick with it. The next build I do, I promise I will use that toddler bed because I just have to. Like the cutest thing I've ever seen in my entire life, and I can't believe I've done 2 builds so far with this pack and haven't used it. Like, it shocks me, honestly, but I will use it, I promise. But anyways, yeah, so for this kid, I was thinking they're really into sci-fi, they're really into like science fiction and like robots and things, so I just kind of used those kind of decorations to clutter up their room. I also gave them a crafting table that came with this pack because it's a new object and I thought I would use it. I'm not sure if they're really that into like arts and crafts, but you know, it's a nice activity to have. And other than that, I just get like a few other decorations in here. I was going to use one of these new bookcases, but I end up using this locker one that came with Discovery University just because, I don't know, I liked how run down it looked, and it filled in the space a little bit easier because it's like tall and skinny and doesn't take up as much space as some of the other ones, so that's why I went with it. But over here is going to be the master bedroom. I decided to go with this bed. I really like this one. It's like stitched together and it has like this nice like throw over it with these tassels, which honestly I didn't really realize the tassels before when I did my apartment build because I thought it was just part of the stitching, and then later I realized it. So I don't know, I just think it's really cute, and I think their bedroom, it turns out really nice and it matches the rest of the house, and it feels a little bit more modern and a little bit nicer than, I don't know, some of their other furniture. So maybe they've invested in some new bedroom furniture or something. So I think that's kind of cute. Oh, there, I just remembered the little birdhouse that came with this pack and I placed it out by the gate. That item is so adorable. But yeah, over here, I'm just picking out some artwork to hang above the bed. I just use this base game painting. And then over here, I do clutter up the top of the dresser with some books and some towels and a new plant decoration. I was going to use this one, but it was the same one that I used on the kitchen table, and so I remembered that we got another one with this pack, and yeah, I use it instead, and I think it looks really nice. Other than that though, I just put some laundry baskets around because I realized I forgot those, and yeah, having laundry in the build are kind of important. But anyways, here you can see I'm moving on to the attic space. So like I mentioned before, I put a play area in here, and I also have like an artist corner. Oh, and then there I just remembered the generator that came with this pack, so I placed that outside. And then also in here I'm using those leaning paintings, which is probably it's in like definitely my top 5 items that came with this pack. I really like those. I think they're beautiful. I wish that we would have got a version that was separated that we could actually hang on the wall, but I really like them and I thought they were really nice to put next to an art easel. And I also really like those boxes. I think they're super cute. I'm not really sure if they can be used as like storage or anything, or if they're just purely decorative. Either way, I really like them. And also the cardboard dollhouse is one of the most like sweetest, adorable things I've ever seen. So yeah, I definitely had to use that up here. But now I'm just going onto the porches and decorating them because I forgot to decorate them earlier when I was doing the exterior. So here on the front, I just do a nice seating area with the lemonade pitcher. And then on the back, I have another chair and a plant and then the woodworking table. But anyways, this is it for the build. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please leave any comments or suggestions you have, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.